Hello, this is Jack Star. I'm a Titan. Yeah, sure. This is a short note before the rest of it begins. I want to let you know, I'm not proud of what I'm doing here. This isn't my best work. It sounds stupid. I'm bored of myself. I can't imagine anyone else wouldn't be. Frankly, I don't see what all the fuss has been over. And since I'm not, charging for it, can't really ask for a refund. You don't like it, don't listen to it. And then the scores of legal professionals who are forced to listen to this in case I say something that they can use against me. I'm sure they hurt and curse my name. I'm not really a very cooperative patsy, which is just too damn bad. But I really don't have anything else to do, and it's kind of expected of me to sound like an idiot, so I'm willing to feed into that. I know it's bad. Somebody has to seem bad, otherwise the good people don't seem good. And any schmidgen of hope that these torturous reprobate fucks with their backs against the wall have of getting out of anything they got going on intact is something to be tossed at them like you would a bone to a wayward raccoon. People, when they're desperate, they start getting desperate, and I don't know what kind of fucking foolishness these people are doing, but people seem to be worried that I'm, running my mouth too much. I might say too much, and I should shut up and be quiet and blah 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 blah. Okay, well, no, I'm not going to do that. But it's not like I'm expecting to win a Pulitzer for this. It's not a big deal. I don't think there's any new information here that anybody needs to hear. I think if you like hearing me cry and whine about how goddamn stupid the fucking feds are, I'm sure a lot of people can do that. I just don't have anything else to do. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to talk to. I don't want to talk to anybody who likes me because I don't want them identified. I don't want to talk to anybody that I haven't talked to yet because, the longer I can keep from embarrassing myself, the better. And I really want to have a simpler story to tell when I talk to people. Say, oh yeah, I did this thing and here's what happened. I don't want to start off with, well, it's kind of up in the air because, it's just stupid. The whole thing is dumb. So it's bad. I could try and make it better, but I don't really see any point. There's no one encouraging me. So there's going to be more. Should I play music? Should I play some music first? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll play that song I like, and then you can pretend it's the end, and then, just give up on it. Really, I'm not contractually obligated to put this stuff out, but I think if I don't, people will start to worry that I've drunk the candle thinner or something. You know how it is when you don't get any response from somebody for a while, you might start to worry what's happened to them. Well, I wouldn't want anybody to worry, now would I?
The Shirley Manson Love Fest continues.
Hey, ladies. It's me. Listen, maintain radio silence. No one knows who you are. Even I don't know who you are. I know that there are people out there who are exceptionally fond of me, but I also know that there are predators out there who are desperate and looking to get any kind of advantage. I wasn't kidding. They either pretended to or they did intercept, kidnap, and either imprison or whatever people who were on the way here to this house. Right? I guess they're going to surprise me. Place is defensible, and then somebody thought that I needed to be alone because that was the only way they could imagine that I would be drawn to this person that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole otherwise. Wasn't quite exactly that the case. It was more that I wasn't aware that was something that anybody cared about. And then as soon as I put two and two together and realized that they wanted to create an evidence trail that showed that I was married to somebody else or whatever, and then blah, blah, blah. I played along with it and then deliberately failed to consummate twice. And I'm not sure if you know about this, but a marriage is a powerful magical contract between two individuals and God that creates a unbreakable bond if it's done correctly. And if you don't consummate a marriage, it's not a marriage, right? If you don't tell the people what is going on and you load them up with drugs and you film them and then you later on you piece it together in Photoshop and you make it look like they got married and they buy it, if they consent to going along with that, well then I guess maybe they're married. But in my case, something else entirely different happened. I asked about an event, and the only 3 people who witnessed it that I knew of all declined to verify that it happened at all, which meant that they didn't want to see the follow-up question, which was, how many sheets of paper did you register it on? Right? It used to be that people thought that they'd get away with that around me, and then it turns out none of them false pages have stood up. I never got married. I never had a wedding. And then the bond that I have with a certain person and another person is a bit of a unusual one, given that I'm a sorcerer and master of wedding rings and level 0 and all this other stuff. But legally married, like go down to the city hall and get a permit and then file it. I've never done that, right? That's what most people think married means. In my case, it has an expanded meaning, and that's valid unless it's in the way of somebody's plans. So they usually just ignore me when I get to that point. But sweetie, they still can't. Oh, see, I can't contact her direct. Excuse me, I take it back. Somebody tell what's her nuts that I still haven't done the thing that everybody thought I was going to do. I have the necklace, and the necklace is intact. I don't care to split up without saying goodbye in person. And then anybody who acts as though I need to hurry up and do what they say is in for a rude awakening. And then there's a backup. There's a backup person, identity also unknown. That is there's a safety valve. So basically, I've decided that there's no way she shouldn't know that what's her nuts is going to be completely disappointed and dismayed to discover that she just waited too long. It took way too long, and then she had the opportunity to do things, and then she didn't do any of them, and then that's because she never wanted to do it anyway, right? I knew that she didn't, right? I knew that. I told Grace, but she didn't believe me. Well, I can tell her that. Well, when I can talk to her directly, I can explain to her exactly what I had to do and how I found out, and she'll be so relieved. Especially that I didn't consummate with her. I didn't consummate with the other one. The other one, still in jail as far as I know. I didn't come and I slept on the bathroom toilet. That's not a wedding night. Okay, that doesn't count. And then it doesn't matter if she got pregnant and then had a baby that matches me. She didn't tell me, and then I don't think she did. And then I only did that because I was told to test my equipment to make sure it worked. Remember you all were talking about how I had a tiny penis that didn't work anymore, and she would blah, blah, blah. Well, that happened because I turned it off, and I didn't care to turn it on because somebody didn't tell me the truth. She was so confused. Like, why isn't he coming on to me? Why doesn't he want to have sex? Well, because you lied to me. And I'm still fucking sensitive about it, right? So you might think it doesn't matter, but when somebody tells me that I have to forget about somebody and I'm not allowed to hear from the person that they're saying goodbye to me, it's suspicious. It's very suspicious, especially when they say they're on the phone. So suspicions, what can I tell you?
3, 2, 1. Jack,
Fuckface.
astronaut. Exposed to inappropriate levels of solar energy.
Sunlight makes him the world's smartest man.
I know everything!
I want that brain taken out.
Heat Vision, the motorcycle with the mind of Jack's unemployed roommate. Together they run for their lives, blocked at every turn by adventure.
Move out, don't mess around. Move out, you bring me down. Move out, I forget about, don't make the sound and move out. Now that's just power, for real.
Hi, this is Jack Star. I'm a Titan. I know it sounds like a big deal. It is. Try not to sweat it. I mean, you can just think of me as a star too. I mean, really, Titan is definitely outranks star, but it's like a totally different category. I'm not even sure what it actually means. I don't ask to be made anything that I'm not, but apparently there's this hierarchy of things going on that is forced to pay attention to me now because I appear to be the only person around who hasn't lost their shit. According to the telemetry at my disposal, a lot of people are going through a tough time, which is really unfortunate considering how completely unnecessary most of that was. I'm hoping I'm in some sort of fucked off hell dimension where this is all a dream and Patrick Duffy's going to wake you up in the morning. But in the meantime, for whatever reason, I am here in this experience, and in this experience, I have reigned utterly supreme. I am a Titan. Graduating from human to Titan is difficult, but it can be done. I assume I'm being fast-tracked in order to accomplish something else, and then I'll be busted back down to human. I've already agreed on a contract to return to this mortal coil for another life after I die on this one. When I'm dead and I go to heaven, I'm not staying in heaven. I'm going right back down. I'm going to be reincarnated. Same family, same life, a few changes. I want to be born in 1973 again. I want to see all the opportunities that I could have had if my father hadn't lost my foreskin in a poker game, or maybe it was pinochle. I don't know. There was a number of peculiarities about my birth and the years preceding it that don't make sense to me now. They do kind of make sense in the larger context, given that my mother and my father were total freakazoids, and the fact that they got together at all and created a child. Well, you know. Apparently the universe demanded that I be around, and I made the most of it. When I found my mother's yearbook and saw that it indicated that her lifelong ambition was to be a housewife of 4 children, I asked my mother about that. I think I was 14 at the time. I said, "Mom, look at this." And she took one look at it and scoffed and said, "Oh, that doesn't matter," which is exactly what a person says when something matters a lot, right? Okay, well, I never dreamed of having 4 kids. I never dreamed of having kids. I picked up early on, I shouldn't be reproducing. Oh no, that might make people mad if there's more. Just the general poo-poo around me was hard to miss. I had a knife shoved into my stomach, and I was threatened by 3 older boys who had gotten the impression that I was disrespecting their sister, like planning on raping or something. I mean, I'm fucking 3rd grade, right? This is the fucking rumor going around. I hadn't even come close to puberty yet. So this recent stuff, this is nothing new, right? My whole life, this kind of crap has been going around. And the guy who was threatening my life when I was that young, he was older, and he had been given a cancer diagnosis. No, leukemia. Yeah, well, same thing. Leukemia diagnosis. He was 16. He probably wasn't going to be 18. And then he seemed upset about that, which would bother me too. And then his sister was gorgeous at a young age too. So I imagine he felt like people would be violating her after he was dead. And I suppose if they had been living lives together over and over, reincarnating as friends, partners, sometimes lovers, sometimes family members, and had been doing that for a while and had been able to defend each other, he might have realized that the jig was up at that point, because you give one kid leukemia and you give the other one a whore cap, then you're not going to be doing your thing anymore. I still don't know about that incident, but I do know that I didn't really complain about it. and that I knew who the boy was. I didn't know who his two friends were, but I knew the name of the kid who was standing in front of me, asking me if I was after his sister, right? And I looked into his eyes, and they were all glaring, ready to murder. And like, this kid had leukemia diagnosis. He didn't care. I could tell if he knew that I had anything to do against his sister, he would kill me, and he'd get away with it too. I didn't have anything. I liked his sister. I barely knew her, and he had been given a rumor that I'm some sort of mad, crazed, out of control beast. This was third primary school. This rumors have been going around about me like that. I don't know who my dad pissed off, but he must have pissed off somebody. I did not grow up normal, okay? And hovering over my life for the entire time have been various people who, to whatever ends, think that they're either protecting me or defending me or punishing me or making sure I don't get out of line or whatnot, right? Shut up, Jack! As if they know better than I about my own life. At one point that may have been true, considering my parents were whack jobs and I didn't have the proper oxygen. However, since then I have become ascendant in my own power. Some of you may have noticed, others less so. This does not seem to sit well with those who think that they have dominion over me. They don't have dominion over me. They just think they do. I don't know how they've come to think that they do, but they're all being disabused of this notion one by one. I'm not seeing all of it, thank God. I'm seeing little bits of it. I never knew that I needed this much vengeance. I never knew that this much crap had been done to me. And then even if it had, long time ago, I just, I relented, just gave up, cried to heaven, just wanted to go home, make the madness stop, make the hurting stop. And God has heard my cries a long time ago. So when all of a sudden somebody tries to run game on me, and somebody who I hadn't thought of for a while is bouncing from person to person as if they're a guardian spirit, I realize what's happened. Oh, they died, and they went to heaven, and they said, fuck, I got to go back and help. Avenge my murder. Yeah, so it's kind of like Owen Lee Dog, I think. I'm not quite sure what the deal is. I didn't get a straight answer out of anybody. I'm still not getting straight answers out of people. It's really not necessary. As I am a master of divination, I only have to ask once or twice about what's going on in the world and get zero responses before I'm allowed to open the floodgates of information, as it were, and inquire of the divine. I still don't like to do that. It seems a bit like looking at the back of the crossword puzzles for the answers to when you miss a word. I don't like having to cheat. It changes the whole character of the game. That's why the best thing for me is to hold off on finding another lover until I'm allowed to have a conversation with my last one. That way, when I tell her, oh no, I'm going to have sex with somebody else, when I tell her that to her face and then walk away cheerfully and then go do that, it'll have much more impact than if I had just done it while she was gone, right? I don't know what's to come with that situation, but I do know that I had a commitment, and I'm still honoring that commitment. I'm really glad I did. And then somebody else didn't honor their commitment, but that's okay. I mean, one of them is a woman, and the other one's a woman, and then there's an unknown number of people who are all lumped together as if pig pile on KUCZI, right? That's not going to work for the divine. Some of you have noticed that not being able to blame me for everything has really put a corkscrew in the plans of some. That is too bad. I did not plan on being blamed for everything. I did notice the fact that my mother's named Patsy, and that I was blamed for a bunch of stuff. I did notice a coincidence there. I figured my mother really was affected by Kennedy's murder, and that she always wanted to know what would happen, and that she hoped and prayed that her son would amount to something. And boy, I sure have. Anyway, when I found out who killed Kennedy, did I tell my mother? I think I kept it to myself because I knew she'd be disappointed, and I wasn't really sure until a little while later. And anyway, the dude fucking deserved death. Kennedy was a dick, right? And all those years I used that question on Belgab, it wasn't that I thought he shouldn't have been done. I mean, I don't give a fuck who shoots the president. I mean, I wasn't even alive then, right? What I cared about was belief that you could lie about it and that was okay. Like what makes these people think that they could lie about that and that was worth it? Like how could they not think of something better to do than to just lie, right? And why'd they have to kill him anyway? Well, okay, so they had to kill him because some motherfuckers you have to kill in public. Send a message. I don't know exactly what Kennedy did that was too far over the line, but it was too far over the line. I believe it was that he cheated on his wife and embarrassed her. And given that he was a Catholic and that he was married and that he and his brother took a whole bunch of fuck me drugs and had their way with Marilyn Monroe and caused a bunch of embarrassment, that doesn't seem nice to Jackie Onassis. No. And then she was rescued after her worthless fleabag husband was dead by Aristotle Onassis. Aristotle Onassis. Yeah, so they killed the president and took his wife as the concubine of a Greek shipping magnate, which might sound like a terrible story, but remember the Kennedys made their fortune in bootlegging during Prohibition, so they're really just kind of scumbags. And then compared to Nixon, I suppose they were better than Nixon, but Nixon was trained to be that stupid, right? All this information came to me over years of polite study, because it's not like I read a book where all this was explained, and then a lot of this is my opinion. But it just never occurred to me how easy it would be to hide the murder of a president when half the country thinks he deserves to be dead anyway, and the other half are fucking idiots. Similarly, I was surprised people thought that they were going to be able to do stuff to me, but I didn't realize that like 90% of everyone who's ever heard of me has been subjected to a fucking leafleting campaign. There's been a grassroots effort to convince people that I'm scum, or that I'm not who I say I am, or that I have children that I'm not supporting, or this or this or this. And as we know from history class, the bigger the lie, the easier it is to believe. And so, knowing as I did at a young age that I would be able to easily not become a criminal and stand up and say, oh no, I never did any of that. And then I would want to see how many people took the time out to cross the street to cast aspersions on me, but couldn't be bothered to, invite me to a party or ask me to a study date unless they had some sort of ulterior motive. And initially I did not understand why this was the case. I certainly understand now. It's because I'm smarter than all of you. I'm better than all of you. I've come from a bloodline stock that is dramatically superior to all of yours. I am the Ubermensch that has been dreamed of in the past, and unlike the dream of the Ubermensch, where not only is he strong and handsome and powerful, he also really wants to work hard for everybody else. He also has an altruistic heart and all this other shit. That's not the case with me, right? I'm going to take my Ubermensch and just do whatever the fuck I want, which I wasn't quite so down with before. But now I'm really enthusiastic about just doing whatever the fuck I want. For one thing, lots of other people have been doing it for whatever the fuck they wanted. And how did that work out for them? Initially, probably pretty good. And then as time's gone on, I suppose the time to pay the piper has come. I can't say that I'm too sympathetic, honestly. I didn't really want to see all sorts of troubles befall people, even if they were not my friends. The thing about Belgab is that all the people there I consider to be friends and family in a sense, because I knew that every single one of them thought that they were better than me and thought that they were going to eventually shut me down. I intentionally positioned myself as the last man, the tallest poppy left standing, knowing that because I'm lazy and I knew I didn't give a shit about all the stuff they were doing, they would eventually get to me and they would break their backs trying to shut me down. And they have. Even before I got there, I was thinking that was going to be the plan for my end of life, because I already knew I wouldn't have friends, I wouldn't have family, I wouldn't have support. I would be surrounded by jackals, and there would be nobody to help me defend against them besides God, Jesus, perhaps Joan of Arc, and my wits. Not because I thought that would be punishing. I just like, somebody has to do the commando way. The advantage of being a commando is that you don't have to wait for orders to come in. You don't have to like stop and think, oh, okay, is my partner going to do this? No, you're by yourself. Just do whatever you want. And if you want what's best, you're going to win. And if you're not, well, fuck you. It never occurred to me that I'd be looking for a partner to do the same thing with me. And then it never occurred to me that the partner that had been designated for me had been busily working behind the scenes to undermine me and destroy my power and take all my stuff for themselves. somebody must have encouraged them to do that, because stealing is really not a good idea to do with Taurus. Taking what belongs to someone else is well, thou shalt not steal, right? And then those 10 commandments aren't that big a deal. They're actually they mean something in themselves entirely. They're not things that you're told you're not supposed to do. They're things that you will find yourself not doing automatically when a person has found themselves on the path to God. And not everybody is supposed to go on the path to God. I got pretty fucking tired of a bunch of bullshit and decided to take a shortcut to God fairly early age. Consequently, I've only been here as a volunteer to see if I can help others. I was done with this place ages ago. Fuck all you fucking dorks. But this is the only place to actually learn certain lessons. I did still have a body. I did not kill myself. I don't really want to. It's once again, thou shalt not kill. Your body is a gift from God. If you kill it, you might not get another one for a while. But if you don't kill yourself, well, a variety of things happen, including you don't die. And then the whole death thing is a ripoff anyway. It's a little hard to explain, but in your experience, you never die. And then outside your experience, clones are given the experience of watching you die, and then they get taken over by, well, never mind. It's hard to explain. It's different for me because I have no family and no friends already. Similar to Jet Li in the movie The One. If all of your clones in all the other dimensions are dead, then you gain tremendous power. I have phenomenal power based on just not having to give a shit about other people. I don't have to buy Christmas cards. I don't have to take anybody out to dinner. I don't have to buy shoes. I don't have to pay for medical bills. If I get like a funny tumor on my hand, I can ignore it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about buying condoms. I don't have to worry about paying child support. I don't have to worry about being able to cook. I can cook, but not one damn person has presented themselves to be worth it lately. Additionally, my kitchen is trashed because the people who are here trashed it for me. And I imagine they expected that I would clean it up. No. It's the same kitchen, the same mess. Yeah. I didn't do that to piss anybody off. It just didn't make sense to me to clean the kitchen. That would only make sense if I was going to stay here. And at the time, I didn't realize how long this was going to go on. It's going to go on. It's going to go on as long as it takes. And the kitchen could be cleaned, but actually it works as a fairly strong deterrent and defense mechanism. Nobody's going to come in here and squat while I'm gone, right? Nobody's thinking that they're going to come in here and help me out by pointing out what needs to be done. I fucking know what needs to be done, right? I'm just not going to do it myself. And I don't have to wait here for someone to arrive, but it is a useful spot given that all my stuff is here. The idea of moving somewhere else, I'd rather be invited first. And then even though I don't particularly like it here, it is starting to grow on me, considering that I have been able to harness my tremendous power. Really, it's just more of the same that I had at the other location, which is really ironic because apparently a whole bunch of people spent a whole bunch of time trying to get me out of that house so they could take it over. And then they were gonna get me. Okay, well, I don't know what's happening up at that house. I know I don't give a shit. And then down here, I'm in a house by myself, waiting for something to change on certain levels. And then since I don't have any ambition or drive to survive anything else, I can just sit here and kick back and play video games. This is the same situation I was in after my mother died in Seattle. So all that work and effort, and they've created the exact same situation down here, except now I know that there's actually, a pogrom. It's a real disadvantage when the target that you're stalking knows that you're stalking them. I'm sure it was a lot more fun when I was completely blissfully unaware of what was going on. Now I'm pretty aware, right? It's real apparent to me now why people were looking at me funny. It's even more apparent to me now why people didn't answer my questions. That the people who are terrified makes sense to me now too. Like if I had done that much stuff and didn't know what the fuck was going on and had never encountered a compassionate being in my life, I would be terrified too. I don't think they have to be terrified of me. And then as for what's happening to me, well, I became a Titan. That's pretty cool. Part of that is purging of emotions. It's kind of like being a Vulcan, but not really. I'm not mad at anybody. I don't have any desire to get revenge or to cackle with glee as I see the misfortunes of others. I never did that. Schadenfreude is the joy that I'm not going through their pain, not enjoying their pain. Like, for example, my friend from high school who is married. I'm not enjoying her pain at being married to a I'm sure a lovely gentleman in her timeline, but I take great pleasure that I never got married, right? Not the way she did, right? I didn't have any kids. I reproduced abiogenetically. Go Bears. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't have a wedding. I didn't fail to invite me. I didn't lie my ass off to everybody. I didn't live in denial, and I didn't take shitloads of drugs and fuck up my body and my brain and get to a point where, look who's laughing now, right? Like this person had always been told and had assumed that I would always be, obsessed with them. I'm not. I wasn't. I had forgotten all about her. And then I was reminded again. And then I thought about it, and then I decided to, well, okay, let's see what's there. Let's open Pandora's box and see what's there. Well, what a pain in the ass that was. But it was better than anything else I was thinking of doing at the time. And it has afforded me the opportunity to watch the best revenge ever play out. I don't know who was mad at her, but a lot more people than just me. And then I wasn't mad at her for very long. And then I wasn't even mad at her. I was mad at whoever manipulated and misled her, who many people may not have even known were there. I don't need to penetrate any of these discoveries. I don't need to find out who did what to who. No. It's enough for me to know that y'all had years to deal with the situation. And you pissed it away. And then somebody killed her, and she came back from heaven and had to solve her crime with the help of me, I think. And then I did, and now she's gone. So whatever you got left, it's just a hollow, empty shell. It's some necromantic simulacrum, a tulpa or something. I don't care. Put her in jail, put her in prison. Doesn't matter. I've already had the experience of mourning. I don't need to continually mourn. And then it's not going to be something. It's no longer a leverage point on me. It makes me feel kind of glum, but a lot of things do. And then it works as a great camouflage. I can't imagine how many people were misled when they were told that I was some sort of danger because I must have been stalking somebody. Because I never thought that was the primary purpose. As soon as I got there, I figured, oh well, this is where that person will end up. But it didn't occur to me that they were there or that I was stalking. I was never interested in chasing after them. They needed to find me, and they needed to say, "Oh, hi, I'm sorry." It wasn't like I needed an apology or I needed them back or I had to get inside that pony. No, nothing like that at all. Something went wrong, and then a mature person learns from that experience, and then an immature person who's used as a pawn gets bandied about by a bunch of reprobate, loathsome toadies and flunkies, and then after years realizes that they've wasted their whole life and probably should have been nicer to the common man. I don't know what I would have done to have stopped anything if I had known about it any sooner, but see, the thing is, I did know. I just didn't know what to do about it. And then as soon as I did know what to do, I immediately told the person who had been ostensibly there to help me. I said, hey, this nose surgery changes everything. Tell so-and-so right away. She did not tell anybody. She did not apparently believe that I needed to be listened to in the way that a normal person did. I think this person had been convinced that I was some sort of chattel by I don't know what, but the Austro-Hungarian Empire has a hyphen in it for a reason, and I don't know what the current status is of the conflict or whatever. But I do know that Austria produced Hitler, and Hungary produced Einstein, and Einstein was more ashamed of being known as a Hungarian than he was of being known as a Jew, which should tell you something about the arrangement. I like being Hungarian. And I don't know of many Austrians, right? But I'm not too impressed with the culture, considering that there's really not much difference between Austrians and Hungarians. One's in the valley, one's outside the valley. One comes in, takes stuff, and leaves. The other one hangs out in the valley and tries not to get kidnapped. Right? There's a bit more to it than that, but essentially, my people are used to being harvested. My father came to America because he was picked out as a good person to recruit for soccer playing, right? And then since he didn't pan out, since he was a drunk and a reprobate and a broken man after the Soviet Red Army came into his village when he was 14 and raped his mother and sister and killed his father and kidnapped him and conscripted into military service for 3 years. He came home when he was 17. That'll put a sheen on your life. At least that's the story I was told. I don't know if that was a made-up thing, but let's just say my dad had a bad attitude for whatever reason. And that made it difficult for him to have sponsors that paid money for him. Maybe he said the wrong joke at a party. Maybe he made a pass to the wrong woman. I don't know. My father didn't do it right. So they dropped him like a fucking stone. They didn't give him weed. They arranged for him to get hooked on pills, and they let him keep drinking Budweiser. To me, that's the biggest fuck you in the world. Oh yeah, go ahead, drink Budweiser. That's good. He drank it because he wanted to fit in. Budweiser's the best. Well, no, it's not. But if you drink Budweiser, everybody's sure that you're American. And then nobody thought my dad was an American. He had a funny accent and funny eyes and funny name and funny attitude. So why he got to marry my mother, a bit of a mystery of the ages. I wasn't around then, and when I tried to ask, nobody wanted to tell me because it wasn't my business, which makes perfect sense to me. I always thought that I would one day know about the history of my parents, how the hell those two got together. I don't want to know, right? It's a sad fucking story. But I did surmount that, and rather than push my parents down the stairs as I so often dreamed of, I stayed by them and did my duty as a son should do, and took care of them, and that's why I have my life. And those who thought I shouldn't have it are suffering for their judgment. I don't know who the hell thinks that their job is to run around and decide who gets to keep their inheritances and who don't, right? I do know that my mother cautioned me against trusting her sister. I figured it must have been pretty bad, but I also wanted to trust this trust thing, so I wanted to put it through its paces. And I figured it'd be pretty bad, but I didn't imagine that she would turn around and try to hire the same lawyer who wrote the will with my parents, and then ask him how to bust it open, and then have him counsel. See, I wasn't real confident about this whole lawyer thing, given that they're snakes, mercenaries, demons in three-piece suit. But that's not really true. The lawyers are cool. The one who's administering my mother's special needs trust, he and I don't go way back, but we've been dealing with each other for 6-7 years. We've come to an understanding, right? Initially, I'm sure he thought I was kind of weird, a bit of a pain in the ass. Now he gets it, right? And irrespective of how weird I might be or how much of a pain in the ass I am, results matter. I'm in the house, other people are gone, and I could give two flying fucks off a fucking wheelbarrow what the fuck happened to them. I don't want to chase them down. I don't want to find out what happened. I pray to God for their safety every night, but they had their chance to be close to me, and they fucking sold me out and laughed it up, and then got fucked, because that's what happens when you break the deal. You face the wheel. So my mother's lawyer has seen this happen, and he's impressed. I mean, for one thing, he hasn't fired me. For another, he hasn't ripped me off. For a third, he finally kicked down the list of various numbers, and I wasn't disappointed. He did take quite a bit of money for himself, but fucking he deserves it, right? And then the shit that he has to put up with on a day, I can't even imagine. Like, the reason why lawyers get paid so much is because they're worth it, or at least a good one is. And initially, my father and I were kind of skeptical of this whole get a lawyer for the trust thing. Like, what's the point? Well, my mother wanted it that way. And I don't know if you ever met my mother, but after the hell my father put her through, I was more than happy to take her side in nearly every argument. And then by the end of his life, my father was pickled in the head, having surreptitiously mixed chemicals that shouldn't be mixed together. I guess nobody told him that he shouldn't do that and that he couldn't get away with it. he wasn't that smart to begin with, right? But he wasn't holding a candle to anybody at the end of his life. And other than being stubborn and having me on his side, he would end up pushed off in a ditch. I mean, nobody liked him except me. I liked him. I didn't understand why he was an asshole. And then once I did, then my heart went out to him. And I never got a chance to explain that to him while he was alive, because he was pickled. And then he died with me not being able to talk to him. Another no contact thing, which I thought was funny. It didn't really hurt me. I mean, I would have loved to have helped him, but somebody thought it would be a good idea to separate me from my loved one and then try to work on him to convince him to give up the ghost, and then they were going to torture me and they were going to find something to put me in jail for. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Because they did the same goddamn thing again, and it didn't work this time either. Wherever that woman is, for one thing, there's one guilty of sin. I don't give a fuck. And then there's another who was a terribly abused victim, is probably dead now. And then there's another who, well, the list goes on. There's more than one, right? And nobody seemed to care that somebody else might have wanted to help me. They actually wanted to just isolate me in the first place. The entire operation was, in fact, designed to keep me isolated. And the fact that I prevented her from killing us both or killing herself or whatever, that didn't sit well with certain people. The reason why the cops who showed up here on Christmas Eve didn't want to take pictures and didn't want to do this and didn't want to do that is because they didn't want to have a trial. They didn't want to do due process. Their objective was to kidnap us, to split us apart. They were hired to do that. I don't know by who, but there were plenty of people who didn't want to see the two of us together. And then there was this other little wrinkle in that there were these dudes who were involved in the situation before I got there that I wasn't told about. For 5 years, they're behind the scenes pulling strings, and then there were other people, a whole bunch of people involved that I didn't hear anything about, and I was fed a pack of lies by somebody who was told to do so, and thought that she had to. Talk about your karma. Well, that certainly explains all the craziness. And then I don't really want to go to the last therapist we saw and say, "Hey, guess what I found out? This is this and ha 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 ha." I don't want to say "I told you so" and rat her out and say, "Hey, well, okay, so she lied to me. What do I do? How do I get even?" Okay, that's not what I'm going to do at all. For one thing, I don't need to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist on this matter. I'm pretty okay with it, right? And then if I go there just to rat out what's her face, that's not cool, right? And then I don't need the therapist to ask. I don't need her to apologize to me for lying to me, because the laws in this regard are fairly strict. The reason why I wasn't told that there was an investigation is because they didn't want to, and then the stuff that I was suspected of being involved with, pretty serious shit, right? The fact that I haven't been officially charged or whatever doesn't mean jack or shit. I've been investigating my whole life. Everybody has blamed me for everything, all right? And eventually, people have gotten tired of wondering, well, what the fuck is with this guy? And then why are they doing this? And how black could he be, right? Over and over and over, people would be calling the police and saying that I did things that I didn't do. And I rarely ever call the police. So it just seemed kind of like a strange thing. So when I moved from one county to another, I knew there would be a proving time. And I think that time is drawing nigh to its close. I couldn't believe that they were going to be doing the wrong thing on Christmas Eve that year, because I just didn't imagine anybody would want that much punishment. I'm still enjoying it, right? I was sad that people should have known better, that I couldn't warn off, who wouldn't listen to me anyway. That's why I was sad. I wasn't sad that I couldn't get to see her. Fuck, keep her away. That's fine. Oh, does she have secret husbands and secret relationships? Oh, okay, fine. Good, let them deal with her. Why couldn't they buy her shoes? Why couldn't they take her to Red Lobster? Well, they could, you see, but they were actively trying to swindle me, right? And I was sad that people thought that could happen to me. I guess nobody heard about this psychokinetic shielding thing that I've invented. I mean, I invented it for that purpose. And I guess nobody noticed that it was working. And I guess that didn't seemed to be a good enough reason to stop hiring people or blackmailing them to throw themselves at me. All have failed. Delightfully so, too. There's a series of books by an author named Fred Saberhagen about the books of swords. I guess there's 12 swords in 4 books or something. And the story goes that the god Vulcan comes down and crafts these 12 magic swords with these special abilities so that the gods can play a game with humanity. And each of the swords has a special ability that renders its wielder very, very potent. And the objective is to, play the game, I guess. And when one of the combinations of swords that's fabulous is you take the sword that makes it so that nobody can attack you and live. I think that one's called Shield Breaker. I forget the names. But the idea was that you give one guy, your enemy, this sword, and then you wait till he has an army around him that trusts him, and then you come at him and you whip out the sword that turns the army against the leader, right? And then the army fights the guy with the sword that can't be killed, and the leader of the army destroys his entire army while it's under the influence of a mind control spell, which sounds like a bummer, right? I mean, he's got the sword, he can't lose, but then he uses it against his entire family, kills them all. And then I forget, there's a third component to it anyway. So these are good books. I read them at a young age because I didn't have anything else to do. And I wondered what would happen in the future of my life, given that in reality, I know that there's not magic swords and such, but there definitely are some things. And that certainly they had been used on me in the past and then probably would be in the future. I still don't know what to make of certain things that have happened. I guess the whole thing with the death curses has been a real bit of a problem for some people. See, I said I had these shields, and then people tried to cast spells that would make me die, and then they would reflect, and apparently they killed other people that they're responsible for. See, I'm not responsible. That's the way karma works. I mean, I didn't ask to have a death spell cast at me. That would be different. If I asked somebody, hey, cast a death spell at me, and then I'll stand here and it'll bounce off and it'll hit my enemy and we'll go, yay, that would be different. But I never did anything like that at all. I didn't know that I had done anything that would cause my death or make me worth dying. But I guess I inadvertently enabled somebody by not being guilty. I guess enough people misled enough people that they I still don't know yet. I still don't know. I do know that nobody's telling me, and that I do know that I don't care. I'd be just as happy to be dead than be here. However, this is a very exciting place to be alive, considering that I am the only living one here. If there are any dead people at this haunted church, I'm not seeing them. I haven't pierced the veil. I don't want to be a spirit medium. I don't want to do that kind of thing. What do I want to do? Be exonerated at trial. Yeah. Apparently, it wasn't that big a deal for her to lie, because it was the story was that this is what they had to do to entrap me in a way that works, and I guess that they had a mandate to do that because some reason. Anyway, somebody was trying to set me up over and over and over and over and over. And I kept on seeing it because it was clumsy. And I kept on saying, hey, what's this? What's this? And then I was never told the truth, right? I really should have been told the truth. Because I guess the truth was I did something terrible and I had to go down, right? Except, once again, I didn't actually do anything terrible. And the terrible thing that I guess I was supposedly most guilty of was not doing something about something else that was really terrible that I also wasn't informed about. So basically a bunch of blind, unreasoning hatred is what led to the experiences of Christmas 2 Christmases ago. And very little has changed. There's still blind, unreasoning hatred. If you've listened to my podcast yesterday, well, my debrief, did you hear the exchange with neighbor, what's his face? He didn't seem happy. And he thought the thing to do would be to come out and yell at me to shut up while distracting me and then using that time to hack my drone, either technological means or magic or something. That's strange for a guy who's living next door and not doing anything for as long as he is. I don't think his story adds up either. And then I still don't know how it was that he was able to frighten Grapefruit. But she called me up and she said something about how blah, 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 somebody came to the door, blah, blah, blah. And then she was terrified. And then I said, I don't understand, explain. And then she hung up because I guess in that moment she realized that she hadn't told me yet what there was to be afraid of the neighbor. And then there was some sort of conflict they had about the mail. She was very upset about things. Things didn't work her way when she came down here and tried to lie to everybody and break the trust and then go about her business as if she can get away with it. It didn't seem to get through to her that it's the Michael KUCZI Special Needs Trust, not the fucked off mother of two babies, daddies from two different babies and stuff. I mean, it's not for her benefit. I guess she thought it was like a marriage thing. It's not. And then we weren't exactly married at the time. She didn't really work it through. And whenever she asked about it, I explained to her that I don't know either. At the time, I didn't. I also told her that I didn't think there was any chance in hell that her Native American family was going to be able to steal my house as they've stolen so many in the past. And at that time, she kind of scoffed at the notion. I guess she wasn't really used to losing, I don't think. But the entire reason why I have the trust still is because it works. And my mother wanted it. And then when my father died first, I had the opportunity of undoing the trust and then not having to worry about it. But I wanted to use it to test my mother's sister and see what would happen. And my mother cautioned me about this because she knew what her sister was capable of. I had no idea what her sister was capable of. I still don't. But I do know that I don't care. Haven't seen hide nor hair of them. Don't have any animosity to them. They really probably should have been nicer to me. And then if they had been on my side rather than on whatever side they are, they wouldn't be dealing with whatever they're dealing with now, which is, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not mad. Did I mention that I'm bloodline royalty? Apparently I'm the only one left out of a certain genetic something or other, which makes me important on some levels. And I am Hungarian, which is the superior genome on the European continent. Hungarian. It's not a coincidence. And I haven't heard from the angry Hitler contemporary, whatever. Haven't heard from him for a while. He apparently was very upset with me in the sense that he wanted me to not cuss in front of his child, which was odd, considering everyone else did, and that I was supposedly supposed to help in some way or show respect or something, or I was supposed to pick him up and not. I was supposed to be a good slave. I was supposed to be respectful of the Austrian and his child, and I was supposed to do things a certain way. And I was supposed to do this while being afraid of getting out of line or something. I was supposed to show proper respect. They were like a miniature mafia, except they weren't mafia at all. There's something else. I don't know. There was some sort of conflict that was going on that I was not aware of when I showed up. And unbeknownst to myself, everybody assumed that I was there because of that conflict. But in reality, I knew nothing about it. I still know nothing about it. I thought it was just coincidental timing, right? But I was kind of fooling myself at the time. I knew something had made me go to Facebook and log in and start messaging every single person who had ever messaged me and say, hey, you want to go out? Hey, you want to go out? Hey, you want to go out? Not my typical behavior, but that's what I did, and that's how I found Grapefruit. And where is she now? I don't know. Don't need to find her. Not in a hurry to find her. She needs to heal and relax, because I guess she just spent the last year and a half trying to break the trust, which she had already broken when she got here. Like I said, hey, the first thing I want is solar panels. Don't go down to the thing downstairs, or down to the highway. There's a building down by the highway, and I didn't want to look in there yet. I wanted to deal with other things first. And while I was gone, she and some other guy who thought they owned the place went in there and ransacked the place. And they thought that they got away with it. They did not. I mean, it's a simple arrangement. The trust is for my benefit, not for everyone's. And then I'm only benefited. Everyone is benefited. So when I say something's important, it probably was. And, it just didn't work out how they were going to throw me out of the place with my name on it and think they were going to get away with it. They didn't. And that truck, probably not going to see that truck again. Or maybe I will. I'm not sure. There's something about the truck that was kind of funny. It seemed to be some sort of a bait scam. In any event, I got another truck that's red and smaller and got some engine problems. And I haven't put money into that either. As long as I'm not putting money into something that's stupid, I feel great, given that all these people seem to think that they have a claim to my money, right? I don't know why. I mean, it's mine. And then the money that's in the trust, that's some other guy's handle. He's doing fine on that. He hasn't broken any rules, nor is he likely to. And people who have tried to fool him and fool me have come up against two of the best brains in the business. I knew what was in store for us. That's why I said, "Hey, sir, I'm going to start knocking boots with a Native American woman who wants to have a relationship that leads to cohabitation, not marriage." I mean, he knew what that meant, and I did too. That's why when she later on came back and said, "We need to get married. It's time." By that point, I knew she was done for. And then I don't know who was pulling her strings, but they were both going to be wildly shocked to discover that it's possible to love somebody and not want to fuck them. It's possible to love somebody unconditionally and never want to see them again. And it's possible that I'll never see that woman again. It's what's not possible is that she'll be used as emotional leverage on me. Like I don't know why can't she just, she wants to see me so bad she can undo their things. Well, not exactly. She's kind of kept property, and then the men who thought that it would be cool to like take these women are surprisingly forced to actually care for them now, right? They thought they'd just fuck them and leave them, but no. Now they have to deal with their problems and whatnot. That's fine with me. I was okay with monogamy later, and then I was kind of aware on the fringes of my consciousness that I wasn't having sex with anybody else, but she was, and then she wasn't telling me, and then somehow she thought that was going to be okay when that wasn't the arrangement we had in the first place. Whatever the arrangement was, somebody decided to change it, and then rather than stand up for me or herself, I guess she just went along with it. It's rough when you're a conquered person and you've been through all these terrible traumatic events, and then you meet somebody and they tell you the truth, and then you lie to them, and then you think you got away with it, and then 5 years later you just begin a new cycle of torment. I mean, I feel bad for whatever she's going through. I know I don't give a shit. If it was necessary for me to know, I would be there. I don't need to know much. I get little flashes. Last flash I got was that she's healing. Leave her alone. It's great. Before that, I got a flash that she was all smacked out and totally happy because I had rescued her from this other guy. There was this guy named John who was pretending to be named Mike and pretending to be married to her. I don't think he's doing that anymore. Or if he is, he's a lot more quiet about it. And when I first met this guy, he told me that he had cancer. Stage 4 metastatic. So I don't know if it killed him or if that was a lie or if it's even the same fella. But people lying to me when I am trying to tell the truth, it really changes the nature of the relationship that you're about to form with somebody when the first thing they say is a lie. I mean, if you have an arrangement where you're playing some sort of a drama game, okay, but I meant every word I said. Hey, I'm this level 0. Is that a thing? I don't know. She knew exactly what it was, and then she later tried to exploit it with her compatriots. That would have saved me some time if I had known that was a real thing. And then I could have saved her some time and told her that it doesn't work if you use it under false pretenses, because it's not like a magic horseshoe that gets passed from player to player like a baton. It's something that I earned at work, right? It's not something that can't be. It's not something that gets taken from me and passed on. It's not a rubber stamp. It's part of who I am. I guess if I had been told that and knew that ahead of time, I wouldn't have gotten to make all these lovely mistakes and then get out of them using the powers of clergy. But I did. And I mean, some of those things I laughed about at the time. I'll never do them again. Like laughing at my friend when he was scared about the drone, right? I was just giggling because I couldn't tell if he was serious or not, and I didn't think it mattered. But I think it did matter. If he really had never seen those before, I had seen it 10 minutes earlier, right? And then Did I just alert him to the existence of those when he shouldn't have been knowing? Did I set his entire life on a new track that didn't belong that way because I was careless? Well, maybe. I don't know if he deserved that, but at this point, I don't really care. He thought he was doing me a favor by warning me that I was about to be killed when I got a message from Spirit. Hey, somebody just hired a contractor in your life. It's not how it comes through, but I mean, I'd known that was a possibility, and then it took so long to happen. I was wondering what the fuck was going on. Apparently, people didn't want to take that step because they liked me, but they figured, they didn't know what else to do. And then if I got the shields, it wouldn't work anyway. And so some guy who's acting all scaredy cat, like it's a big deal, tries to warn me without using speech, and then acts like it's an emotional thing for him to do, which I still don't know if it was an act or not. Like, I mean, what he's telling me. Like, I already knew, and then what, he didn't know? Well, you're not as smart as you think you are you? So I can see why I'm not hearing from that person. I didn't mean to make all this trouble. I didn't. I just did what I was told, and somebody picked the wrong person to goose around the game board for a while. I don't want any revenge, and I don't know where I would get revenge for if I wanted any. But every day I wake up and I see people who used to be so confident. Now they're just kind of, right? And I enjoy that. Just watching them squirm, knowing as I do that I have nothing to do with that. I didn't cause that situation. Me openly mocking them might make it hasten its end any sooner. And then I don't know why I would have to concern myself with how they feel about being laughed at when no one seems to have concerned themselves about how I feel about being laughed at. It's that whole, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction thing. You probably shouldn't have tried to take my shit. Apparently I hear people are losing their shit now. That's disappointing. Somebody who lied to me a whole bunch and once taunted me by saying, some people say if you can't hang on to what you got, you don't deserve to have it. And then he was a master thief when I met him. I don't know if he's still a master because he broke the rules a couple times trying to get his assignment done. He used to be a terribly intimidating force to other people, and I don't know what he is now, but I handled him like he was nothing because he was a drunkard and I'm not, and I'm honest and he wasn't, and I wasn't thieving anything, and he was wanting to steal things, and then he thought I was stealing things that I didn't earn, and then he was wrong, and then instead of checking, he just went with his assumptions. So he's fucked. And then the last time I saw him, he seemed disappointed. And then I haven't seen him since, which is too bad. I have lots of questions to ask him now. And the same could be said of a lot of people. There's lots of questions I have on my mind these days that I didn't even know I could ask. Before, people just sort of humored me or ignored my questions or just didn't think I was very on top of things, considering I looked like an idiot. I mean, I kind of was, but to be fair, nobody had told me the truth about anything for quite some time. And then in the last year and a half, I've learned so much and now have a variety of questions that I could ask people that used to answer my questions. None of them seem to be wanting to engage in that kind of thing. I guess they think they don't know what good it could do. Not realizing that the good it could do would be to satisfy my curiosity and then allow my overworked brain to rest. But I guess people don't think that's a good idea. I don't know. I don't know if they think anymore. Once they realize that they no longer had the same moral authority as they did before, once I realized that, oh, hey, you're all on dope too. What do you care? Because it was never about, it's bad for you. It's just bad when I did it because I didn't know how to do it right, which was to keep it quiet. And then that's not right. That's wrong. And if I had known that there was this fundamental philosophical difference in the first place, well, I mean, things would have been different. But nobody told me about this fundamental philosophical difference. I just had to figure it out for myself. Damn, I can't believe it's gone on this long. I guess some people just really need to learn that lesson. It's not nice to lie and steal and cheat. And if you do it to somebody who never ever does that, I mean, inevitable consequences will ensue. God, those people must have been terrible. They're less so terrible now. For one thing, anybody who's in the know knows that they have come up against KUCZI and they have crashed and burned. They don't know how that happened because nobody's allowed to ask me. And then I still have to go to trial, right, to defend myself. But it's really kind of a moot point. Turns out that the whole thing was really just done to slow me down, to keep me from doing something else that I don't know about. And I don't even care about that. I mean, I probably would have been interested to know, but now I'm much more excited to completely and totally demonstrate my power at this epoch of my life, because I never want to have to do this again, right? I never want to say, I don't know if I'm married. Let me ask my wife, but I can't talk to her because there's no contact with her. Like, I mean, it's infuriating. If she wanted to break up with me, she could have just broken up with me. If she wants to stay together, we don't have to break up. But I'm being told repeatedly, forget about her and don't talk to her, right? Which means that they want me to do something that's unforgivable, and then she would give up. See, it's a way of manipulating people against each other, a type of taking emotional blackmail and taking a relationship hostage, and it's not going to work, right? It was probably never going to work, and the belief that it was ever working at all was entirely fabricated by myself, since I read books years before this all happened, knowing that this is what they do to people, right? I knew that this situation would happen somehow, and when I tried to warn certain people, they laughed at me. Always a good sign. And now, whether she wants to see me again or not, she's in no position to argue, because she's surrounded by people who are, hanging on to her, and they all want me to give up and leave this house. They don't know where I would go. They don't care. They're in a blind panic, because if they can't blame her and they can't blame me, and she and I are still fond of each other, they have nowhere to go but prison, which would seem to be inevitable for somebody who had been ripping people off for decades, thinking they'd never get away with it. I mean, obviously prison is going to happen. Maybe they thought they'd go out in a blaze of glory or something, but like it's not gonna be that I go to jail and then I lose everything and then they just swoop in and get it. Like no. Enough people have known what's been going on as being unusual for long enough that now that more truths are coming to light, certain people who have been fooled are never going to give up the chase now, and they know that I'm not the one they're looking for, and they probably don't want my help to find them, because it wouldn't be as much fun. It's way more fun to track down your enemies by yourself than it is to ask the smarmy, fat, bald sorcerer who lives in a church for the answers. I mean, why would you want to ask me? I might demand a piece of their soul. I might, demand a favor later. People aren't sure what to make of me. They think that they got to have something. I must be up to something nefarious, and I'm not. I am enjoying people thinking that, though, because if they see me and they think that, then that's probably them projecting, right? Honestly, I think you're all just really cute. I don't know why anybody thought I didn't have a plan when I said I had a plan, and then I don't know who has all led you all into the ringer, but I suspect it was somebody who decided that they liked me more than they liked all of you, and since many of you are reprobate scumbag sleaze, it's not so surprising. And then I have no interest in helping anyone find out who anybody ratted out. It's amazing how wonderful it is for bad stuff to happen to me. But when the exact same stuff happens to everybody else a year later, then it's a big tragedy. Then it's terrible. Oh, and then suddenly being afraid of me is going to help anything. Like, I mean, if being insulting in the first place wasn't good, acting like you got to be scared of me isn't going to help either. Because whoever did it, whatever, they're real people out there, and they will take advantage of every opportunity they can to mislead their prey. And I'm not prey, nor am I a predator. And as I have been a hunter in the past, and I'm retired, I don't really want to get out of retirement to start hunting things. I like being neutral. It's really exciting. It feels kind of sad that I can't take sides for people that I like, but I'm probably illusionary. I'm probably fooling myself about liking them anyway. I don't really know anybody at all, and besides, they might be a tulpa. They might be a cardboard cutout. They might really deserve the hell that they're about to go through. I don't know. I do know that I'm not worried about it, and that I am lonely, but that's largely because there's no one else around that can possibly sympathize with what I've been through. It doesn't mean I want to get laid. That's a big thing. I may never have sex again, ever, given the things that I've learned. And then I stated out loud what I wanted to have happen in that regard like a year and a half ago, and nobody did anything about it. And somebody seemed to think that was an optional thing. Like, no, that's the way to go forward. And it's as though my feelings and my concerns and the statements that I made didn't matter to every single person who thought that they could dominate me. So I suppose they've all been taught a grand lesson, given that I'm not running around raping people. I'm not harassing people. I'm not stalking people. I never was. The people who have been making false reports in that regard for years have been identified, and their shenanigans noted by proper authorities. I don't know what proper authority thinks of me directly, but probably they're glad they don't have to deal with me, right? I mean, a lot of people in my situation would be like, yeah, get him, sue him, embarrass him, rake him over the coals. I don't want to do any of that. No,
Fuck you, any mom, any sister, any job, any broke ass car, and that's shit you call art. Fuck you, any friends that I'll never see again. Everybody but your dog,
turn
you
it
can
up
all
and
fuck
throw attention.
off. I swear I meant to mean the best when it ended. Even tried to bite my tongue when you slash it. Now you're texting all my friends, asking questions, and never even let you in the first
When it's
place.
Thursday night, that college dropout music every day like that. She be too thick and my friends are all annoying, but we go dumb, yeah, we go stupid. This the 10K on the table just so we can be secluded, and the vodka came diluted. One more line, I'm superhuman. Fuck you and you and you. I hate your friends and they hate me too. I'm through, I'm through, I'm through.
A, B, C, D.
Fuck you,
Any mom, any sister, any job, any broke ass car, and that's what you call art. Fuck you, any friends that I'll never see again. Everybody but your dog, you can all
up and throw
fuck
attention.
off.
This that hot Obama two-step. They can't box me in, I'm too left. This that drip is more like oceans. They can't fit me in a Trojan. Out of pocket, but I'm always in my bag. Yeah, that's the slogan. This that who's all there. I'm pulling up with an emo chick that's broken. This that college dropout music every day late that she be too thick. And my friends are all annoying, but we go dumb, yeah, we go stupid. This the 10K on the table just so we can be secluded, and the vodka came diluted. One more line, I'm superhuman. Fuck you.
I was into you, but I'm not now. And I was trying to be nice, but nothing's better than this.
Get that hot up on my anthem, turn it up and throw attention. Fuck you,
Any mom, any sister, any job, and your Craigslist counts, and the way your voice sounds. Fuck you, any friends that I'll never see again. Everybody but your dog, you can all fuck off.
it's the college dropout music every day late that she be too thick. And my friends are all annoying, but we go dumb, yeah, we go stupid. It's the college dropout music every day late that she be too thick. And my friends are all annoying, but we go dumb, yeah, we go stupid. We go stupid, we go stupid, we go.
And you want me to
A,
change?
B, C, D.
Fuck you,
Any mom, any sister, any job, and your Craigslist counts, and the way your voice sounds. Fuck you, any friends that I'll never see again. Everybody but your dog, you can all fuck off.
fuck you, and you. I hate your
A, B, C, D, E, F,
and you. It's that hot up on my anthem, turn it up and throw attention.
F, U.
Can you hear that?
We're gonna get a few thoughts from my sources, okay? Please
I got
like
a-
this video if it resonates at all.
I like the way she does her thing. I'm gonna talk over why she does her thing. What's her name? I don't know her name, but she does things in a unique way, and she puts her own spin on it, and I appreciate that. She's got a big bag of little pieces of paper with things written on them, and she grabs handfuls of them and spits them down, and then that's how she does reading. Not always, but that's one of them. And I watched half of this one, and it was
First what I'm seeing is
pretty cool.
some of you could be a free-spirited person. The thing
A free-spirited
about it is
person.
when you're
Yeah, my spirit is free.
sometimes
I'm not
people tend to
bound.
judge you for thinking
by certain
dressing different,
things other people are bound by.
having a different mindset and some type of
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah,
I'm not a
so
Freemason.
says,
I'm a free-spirited
I'm
person.
not trying to hurt you. I want to heal you.
I'm not trying to hurt you. I want to heal me. Well, want to heal me.
It says somebody got beef. Okay.
Somebody's got beef. Okay, people who want to heal me and people who have beef might be the same group.
It says somebody needs a place to stay. So somebody could be
Somebody needs a place to stay. Well, don't we all? Right?
Somebody could be attacking a tarot reader.
Attacking a tarot reader. Why would they do that?
You also got the card that says somebody hired a spiritual practitioner on you.
Yes, yes. Somebody has hired spiritual practitioners on me in the sense that they were going to cast spells, cast curses. They didn't hire a healer.
Involved in this situation.
A Gemini. Oh. Do I know any Geminis who would have
You
done
also
that?
got the card that says tell your family to go to hell.
Tell your family to go to hell. Way ahead of you. Check. They just don't know that yet.
You also got the card that says spending all the money on weed. Somebody could be doing that.
Oh yeah, spending lots of money on weed.
You also got the card that says a romantic man.
A romantic man, yes. Well, buying flowers is always very romantic. Personally, I think burning the DEA to the ground is a lovely wedding gift.
Afraid of someone not being loyal.
Afraid of someone not being loyal. Well, I would imagine that a person who hadn't been loyal would have that as a fear. I am loyal, just loyal to who? What'd she say? What'd she say? Back up. Back up. What'd she say? Hang on, lady.
Somebody's trying to think of ways to win you over.
Good luck. Little late for that, lady. What's this one?
A victory.
Victory is coming. In fact, it is coming. I don't want to get too boasty, but it's good for me. Win me over. Well, I'm already won, so might be a little late to. I love you more than I show. Everyone should be hiding their feelings from me because no one who really likes me should show that. Now's not a good time. I've got to deal with this. Blaming me for everything that happened. How is this unusual? And
we got.
What was everything that happened?
You switched up the game. So
I switched up the game. I did switch up the game. Yeah.
A sister, somebody's sister could be
Sister.
involved.
Oh yeah. I didn't want a three-way with two sisters. I mean, imagine that. That's not my secret goal. And somebody's upset that they couldn't bribe me with it. Sorry.
Somebody worried about some unpaid bills.
Unpaid bills. Okay, for the record, my bills will be paid after I'm exonerated at trial. I'm in no rush. It's like $11K. Like, it's not a big deal.
Somebody is mysterious as fuck. So somebody
Mysterious
could
as
let
fuck.
you know your secrets.
I am
Somebody's
mysterious.
keeping things hidden.
Yeah.
Somebody could be living off hoes.
Living off hose. Okay. Whoever's living off hose should probably stop it. I think that at one point it would have been imagined that kidnapping all of my friends and turning them into crack whores. That was nice.
It says I got to get my girl back.
I got to get my girl back. Who's missing a girl? There's no girls here. If somebody's missing a girl, well, give me a call and I'll commiserate with you. I may end up telling you that you didn't.
Figure out how to win a person over, trying to get their girl back. But somebody trying to get
I'm not a girl.
information over though. Let's see what we got.
Oh yeah. Well, what's that like?
It says ex-friend worried and thinking about why you got distance. So somebody cut off a friend.
Ex-friend worried.
Yeah, look like
Well, then they're still a friend. Why I got so distant? Got you fucked up. Yeah, that could be a lot of people. There's a couple of friends that I'm looking forward to talking to again. That they're not really cut off for their safety. For example, when I was dating works.
outside your house, so be careful. Somebody
Outside my house.
watching you.
Yeah, they're outside my house. They hate me.
Attack you, suck you dry.
Energy vampires outside my house. Yeah. There's lots of different kinds of vampires. They don't all suck blood and have fangs and stuff. Some of them are.
Let's run
What's next?
away together. So somebody's going through.
Let's run away together.
I
I would love to run away together with somebody. I got to handle what I got going on here. I got to be exonerated at trial. I got to be allowed to leave the state. I'm not running away to Yakima.
Somebody's scared of love.
Right.
They're afraid of getting
Scared of
hurt.
love. Well, there's a good reason to be.
And it says
scared of
no
love.
one knows I still think of you. Because somebody hiding.
No one knows it. Perfect. No one knows I still think of you. That's the exact secret admirer I want. I want somebody who's completely off the radar.
Some type of realization,
Awakening.
something could be getting exposed.
See, I don't even have preferences of who it is who wakes up.
Keep your friends out your business. Somebody
Keep
has
your
some
friends out of your
friends.
business.
Okay, somebody
Well,
friends
that's
you,
easy to
somebody
do since I don't have any friends right now. I have
Focus on your craft. Somebody could
individuals.
be something new, doing something new, period.
Focus on your craft. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing. But I don't have any friends to share my business with. Plus, I don't really have any business.
We got teach me. Somebody could be a teacher of some sort. Could
Oh,
be a
teach me.
spiritual
Well,
teacher, something,
watch and learn.
okay? Or somebody
No, I
could
am
be
a spiritual teacher. That's true.
Yeah, you can't lie to an empath. So somebody's an empath.
You can't lie to an empath.
To an empath.
Okay,
lie
so
on an
you
empath.
can lie to an empath, but you get caught right away. Yeah.
See what
And
that's
then,
about.
yeah, I don't recommend it.
Somebody's wishing to be with you. But someone's
Wishing to
trying
be
stop
with
it.
me. Well, you just gotta wait. I gotta be alone for a
Someone
while.
is telling your business, okay? So
Someone
be
is
careful
telling
who
my
you talk to,
business?
be careful who you
Really?
associate with.
Imagine that.
Think about who you hang
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
with, who you talking to. You know what I'm saying?
Who I hang with, yeah.
We got Taurus. All right, y'all popping out. It
Taurus.
could be another Taurus involved. But it says, I never wanted to break up.
I never wanted to break up. Oh, I wonder what that sounds like.
Eat your
See,
vitamins.
Eat my vitamins, yeah, right. Whichever way it is, I don't need to do it out of sight, right? She thought that had to happen because she was surrounded by people who were lying to her.
She's obsessed and can't stop talking about you. So somebody
She's obsessed and can't stop talking about you. Well, that makes sense because somebody does have to testify at trial, and then
This drives me crazy. Okay?
right. Okay, so I haven't been with anybody else.
Because I know I see
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. 444 right here.
444 protect. I don't know what that was.
Messing with the wrong
Anyway, I haven't taken a new lover. I'm not going to take a new lover. Why would I? I have so much fun with myself, and I'm certainly happy to wait and have a conversation. Don't let me go. Yeah, I'm happy to wait and have a conversation. And I still love you. Oh. Well, I thought this has been arranged, that it was understood that you, oh great. Flattery to get you everywhere. I don't have to be exclusive with that woman for her to have helped run my farm, but she did have to be
of your beauty, okay?
not taking bribes and being under the control of corrupt thugs. Right? So we'd have to renegotiate anyway. Change my number. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And it says somebody been working hard on something. Okay, working hard on something new, creating something new,
Somebody's
doing
working
something
hard.
new.
Well, that's good. Good.
Somebody
So have
trying
I.
to put a hex on somebody's finances or wishing on somebody's downfall.
Hex
so they
on
mad about
finances.
their abundance.
Wishing it down.
A Scorpio could be involved because that card came
Good thing I don't need money.
But it says, I'm in dangerous trouble. Okay? Somebody in dangerous trouble for trying to.
Well, you
block
know, if you've been
somebody's
playing
money,
both sides against the middle
possible.
and expecting me to fall down first, that's,
Mad
yeah.
at what you post. All right? So somebody's upset about
Mad at what I post. Oh, well, that's too bad. I
Somebody's
don't give a
planning
shit.
a vacation. All right? That's good.
Great.
We got
Plenty of
10,
vacation.
10,
Yeah,
focus
that'd be
on
nice.
spiritual growth. Most definitely.
Is that an
Somebody
order?
going through some type of childhood trauma, all right? Or trauma.
Ah, yeah, there's a bunch of childhood trauma happening. I mostly got over some of mine, but I wasn't aware of just how much trauma there was. And I've been faced with, they think, with me.
Somebody was falsely accused.
Okay.
Somebody was told
Falsely accused. Oh, yeah. So people told them back in high school that I killed the cat then.
Okay, so somebody wasn't honest.
I need you to be totally honest with me. Well, I'll see what I can do.
The way you love.
But yeah, they spread a rumor that I killed the cat. I didn't kill a cat. I can't believe that. Well, I can believe it now.
Somebody's a fighter. They gotta keep fighting. It says you're the
Wow.
one. All right, your person knows this.
Wow.
Somebody's trying to make up for past mistakes. They want to fix
Oh,
things. They wanna
that's
take a
adorable.
chance.
Trying to make up for past mistakes. I mean, sure, why not? It's only 2023.
Somebody could be celebrity
Sleepless nights.
status.
Celebrity status? Who's a celebrity?
Intuition, you already know what's going on. And it says your healing energy is needed in the world. Okay.
My healing energy is needed in the world.
Yeah,
Well,
somebody
that's why I have a
definitely-
debrief.
Somebody is attacking the tarot reader. You switched up the game. You did something that they wasn't expecting. Somebody could be mysterious,
Yeah.
keeping their business to themselves, and they mad at.
Yeah, I don't know what people thought I was going to be doing, but surmounting this obstacle course was the entire reason that I walked into it.
They're trying to find your secrets so they can figure out how to attack you. Somebody worried about unpaid bills. Somebody been living off hoes, but somebody want to come in and have a second chance with you.
Oh, I see. They're worried about unpaid bills. They think it means I don't have money. Well, I don't have money for them, right? And even if I had money and I gave them some, I don't see what good that's going to do. Whatever is.
But it's good because it looked like you cut them off. All right, so that's good. You got protection because people
I have a
are
number
trying to attack you,
fucked up
especially
friends.
some of your family members. But somebody's just trying to figure out how to get their girl back right now, and they haven't slept this night thinking about this. But somebody got beef with this situation. They've been telling guys. All right.
Yeah. Oh, somebody definitely has beef, right? I respect that. They should probably resolve that in a way that doesn't involve using loved ones as targets. Speaking of beef, did you hear the voicemail at the end of yesterday's debrief? I found that. I hadn't seen that for a long time. And then I listened to it. I was like, oh my God, I remember this. This is terrible. And I was glad that it was all corrupted. I'm not sure why it really was like that way. But now that I know what I know now. And then now I don't mind putting it out in public. I mean, why not?
All right, y'all. Let's see.
You made me look stupid. Oh, did I? Let's shriek about it.
Open up the deck. The angel for my choices is listen to wisdom. So somebody has a lot of wisdom. They have a lot of knowledge here.
It's a picture of a woman listening to a bird.
It could be your spirit guide, your ancestors, or animals. All right, but listen to the wisdom that's coming to you. Okay. You also got the card that says affirmation for acceptance. See, there could be some type of chaos or drama or something going on.
Oh yeah.
It has something to do with some type of destiny or fate here. Let fate happen,
Oh,
but
yeah.
also listen to your intuition, okay, on what's right and what's wrong, or who tell the truth or who lying, or just accept a certain situation, okay? Looks like you're going to overcome your obstacles, though, alright? Or this problem. There's a problem that needs to be solved. Somebody was playing mind games or something. Also know if this is
That's
not
right.
happening directly to you, it could be happening to your person or somebody around you, so put it with every fix, okay? I could be saying he,
Remember, I don't know who my person is.
So flip it and reverse it how need be. So right out the back, somebody's mind is growing or they seeing something differently, which explains why you had awakening. But this card also came out for the Scorpio, so make sure you watch Scorpio's reading. But it says meditation to dig deep. Somebody could be digging deep into themselves. Somebody could be doing shadow work or some type of childhood healing from some type of childhood trauma, okay?
It's about time.
But yeah, somebody's trying to heal right now. You also got the card that
Good.
says learning from
They should
life.
heal.
Somebody's learning wisdom, gaining wisdom. There could be a person who may be trying to help you.
That's great.
Give advice, or you could be the one that's giving that advice.
I'm so glad people are coming around.
All right. But somebody's mind is expanding at this time. You also got the
I mean, I really don't want to embarrass you all,
so
but
you need to go out in nature more. And
y'all done did fuck up, right? I'm not going to run your shit down to you in public, but like,
It's good if you don't pause from my talk.
it shouldn't have taken this long for you to back
As soon
off.
as I open up the deck with the scene, Ace of Wands. So somebody's creating something new. Something new. Also, somebody wants some type of makeup sex or passionate sex with you, okay? You got the 7 of Wands. Right?
Wow.
See all these hands, right? Multiple people could be involved
I don't
in this
care about
situation
sex.
trying to attack you. So you're going to have to keep fighting. You're going to have to defend yourself. Somebody trying to attack another person here. Let's see.
All attack is a cry for help.
Okay, somebody could definitely be planning a trip. Oh, somebody's
About
getting a lot
time,
of success
yeah.
and recognition as well. Somebody could have their own business or just doing really good.
Oh my
Looking
God.
real sexy, very beautiful. We got the
Oh
world.
God, wonderful.
Could be giving them attention.
I'm sure they looked sexy before.
Somebody's upset about another person's beauty. Okay?
Oh God.
And the attention that they get. And they mad, you know what? They mad as fuck because somebody got protection. Dragon. They mad as fuck that somebody got protection because everything they do, it bounce right off of them. Yeah.
This sounds just like before.
Wow.
Some people just don't get the message.
Yeah, 6 of Swords. Somebody want to get away from some type of negativity. See, somebody was trying to do some sneaky shit. They was close. They tried to do it on the radar. Whatever.
Somebody was trying to do some sneaky shit.
And
Yes,
it was
they were.
multiple people involved. It was a group of people. They were trying to stab somebody. In
Multiple
the back,
people?
trying to trade them. They tried to get away with the shit, but they couldn't. In some type of way, the shit backfired. Alright? Page of
Wow.
Wands. Somebody is thinking about traveling or going to their person and saying something. Somebody want to get away from something. The Sun. See, they want to go towards what makes them happy. Also, somebody could be
If there was a way to run,
there's a group of people that's involved
I still
in the
probably wouldn't run.
situation.
I mean, it kind of depends on who this person is.
The high priestess. Okay, magic against magic.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be the one from before.
Or somebody around was a reader. Somebody was getting another reader involved into the situation. We got a king of swords with.
And it's not like I was trying to get in with the family.
These cards came out for Scorpio. But somebody was getting advice from another person and getting readers on the person that they love it. We got the King of Pentacles here too. Somebody want to get married.
So there's all these people who are trying to do this thing, and then none of them are talking to me, but they're all talking to these other experts about my life, and then I don't talk to those people. Right? Whoever is handling shit in my world, they should be really sat down. They're not qualified. They're not doing it right.
Somebody was getting readers on the reader.
Yeah.
7 of Cups.
Yeah, y'all are barking up the wrong tree.
You know what? Somebody was trying to go against. They were trying to find their weaknesses. That's what they was. They were trying to find their
Oh yeah, weaknesses.
They did find their weakness.
What a lovely thing to do. I know I feel cherished when somebody talks to a third party and asks to use divination and actually just find my weaknesses.
Alright, let me see.
Sad.
As soon as I open up the deck, a lot of people are attracted to you. Because somebody coming out as the Queen of Wands, can't you look real sexy, very attractive. But
A lot of people are attracted to me. Well, stand down. Radio silence. Don't poke up your heads. These thugs out here, they're on a hair trigger.
Somebody's reading messages and getting advice from other people. They was adding other people into this situation. Could be their homegirls or something like that, right? They are watching and stalking you too. Let's see.
Wow. Well,
What's this?
can't wait to see how that works
Too
out.
fucking smart. They couldn't get past their force field. They couldn't find an entryway to.
I was too smart for my too smart for their games. Well, I knew that. Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how they can
yeah.
move over because they can't stop thinking about you. Alright? That's
Wow. That's so unusual.
Hurt you, so you have to protect yourself. It says I feel so protected because
Jealous bitches want to
That's
hurt
what it
me.
is. They mad as fuck. He put you in a third party situation though. Alright, he put you in it. But whoever he put you in a third party situation with, he was protecting you from them.
Wow.
He wasn't mad that he was always protecting you and taking up for you. Okay? So they start talking about you to their homegirls and
This
stuff.
is exactly like before.
You have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. Okay? People like to listen to what you're saying and stuff like that. My heart
Same
cries
cycle as
out.
before.
Alright, let's get a few more cards.
Sure.
Oh shit. I don't know shit dropping.
It's almost like it was planned.
Alright.
Anyway, you're never going to get anywhere unless you talk to me. Anyone.
Alright, what we got? Somebody could be receiving gifts or about to get somebody gifts or something. Somebody waiting for you
Oh,
to leave
boy.
boyfriend or girlfriend. So somebody in a relationship but they want to
Waiting for me to leave my boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay, well,
Yeah, people are starting to see that you're a good person because somebody been lying on someone here. They misjudged them. Somebody could be doing spell work.
people are starting to see that I'm a good person. Well, hot damn, I'm only 49 years old. I wonder.
Spell work against spell work or something like that, or reader against reader, some shit like that. But see, somebody was being falsely accused of doing some shit that they wasn't doing. How you act is confusing and keep them fucking confused. They're trying to fuse.
How I act is confusing a lot of people. You know, it's almost as though I were a woman.
Find an entryway to attack you in some type of way. Look, he started backing away from them hoes. He started fucking with them hoes. And because they were trying to stick to you, they trying to find an entryway.
Trying to steal my secrets. Oh, that's a good one. That reminds me.
We got
Fucking
competing with
sorcery
you
school.
because of your beauty. Someone wants to take your beauty away from you. Okay?
Somebody asked, and I was happy to look into it. And then somebody else didn't teach me anything.
Somebody wants to see you bad, but thrilled to see you being here. And somebody a night out will stay up late at night. Okay?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
All right, let's see what else we got. Y'all, this got juicy. This got juicy. Since I'm saying this, that means that multiple people is talking about some type of mystery drama going on. This is a group activity that's been going on here.
Wow. Again.
Somebody thinks the situation is juicy. They're mad because they know they're guilty. Somebody guilty.
They're mad because they know they're guilty. Well,
Group of messy
I knew
people
that.
gossip about you. That's exactly what the fuck going on. I'm telling you. You're the
Wow.
one they think about the most. They mad because somebody being chosen.
Wow.
Let's see.
That's exciting. Maybe they should talk to me and find out what's really going on. Or did that spoil the surprise? Or is there like one uber vampire who's
They need
controlling the
you to
whole
tell them
group?
how you feel. Definitely check out the
They need you to...
cancer
Okay, well, here I am.
that's with it,
They need
okay?
you to tell them how you feel. I love you. Sit and
I
wait.
just wanted to call y'all Leo, so Leo can have something to do with this situation. But somebody feels
Leos.
very regretful because they traded in their loyalty.
They traded in their loyalty for you for fame. Oh, well, I guess that would make it famous.
The same as time without the flame, they wondering.
The same. No,
Your
I
neighbor
do not feel the same.
Your actual neighbor or somebody in your circle that's watching you.
Yeah, my neighbor is watching
Your
me.
status is going up.
I called the
your
police on him.
vibration is going up. Somebody leveling up. Now Atlanta, somebody that live in Atlanta, have family in Atlanta, finna take a trip to Atlanta. Somebody Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
It
them.
says you're
That's
highly
cool.
protected and respected in the heavens. And it says they judge you before they even got to know you. See, somebody misjudged.
That's true.
You also got
I wonder
the
who
fact
caused
they don't
that.
want people to listen to you because they know you are right about it.
They don't want people to listen to me because they know I am right. Well, maybe they should have thought of that before they
The shit you saying
made
is
such a...
guilty. And it says you told.
You told the truth and they called you crazy like you ain't know what you was talking about. Yeah, that's a big one. I remember when I was discussing time travel with Ezra, and
The truth and they called you crazy like they didn't know what you were talking about, but you know exactly what the fuck you were talking about. You ain't crazy. Somebody's very attracted to your voice and the things that you say. And a Scorpio.
Yeah.
You also got the card that says, I know you be talking to cards and crystals about me. Somebody definitely a terror reader here. You have a deep soul connection.
That's not me.
Let's get a few more cards for y'all.
Yeah. There's really only one soul.
As soon as I open up the deck, the energy for y'all is somebody has no goals or ambition. Let this person know, okay?
That's me. I have no goals or ambition.
Everything I did to has backfired on me. Right? Somebody was trying.
Everything they did to me has backfired onto them. Swing.
Trying to set somebody up, trying to stop somebody's success and shit. Because right under that, you got the card that says numbers going up, views going up, money going up, everything going up. Somebody was mad because somebody was elevating and going up. All right?
I don't care about any of that.
So they tried to sabotage this person, so the shit didn't work. They ain't got no goals or ambition.
Great. Just put one foot in front of the other.
Alright.
I figured after I was exonerated.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
It says, I don't want to drag you into the drama in my life. Somebody's going through a bad
Too bad.
breakup. Somebody
Oh, too bad.
is talking about what you got in your house, which is weird.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm working
Black
on
toxic
being
mold.
better good. Somebody working on themselves and family members think
I'm
they
working on
know
being
best. That's
better.
why you keep them out your business. The playboy fell in love, they got mad. Then said somebody's working hard, ain't minding their business. That's good. That's the way to go. How do you do what you do? They trying to figure it out. Don't tell them.
Prayer.
Shit. The ones that's going back and telling us about to get divine punishment because multiple people were involved being messy and gossiping, but they're gonna pay for it. Oh, so you want to be with her instead of me? They mad as fuck. You also got the card that says, "Did you ever really love me?" Now they all crying and shit. You also got the card that says, "This person
I
brags
did.
about you."
Yeah. I'm not waiting just to torture her. I absolutely love the person who has woken up and realizes that you should probably break up with a person instead of
You be bragging
working
about
on
you,
this.
stuff like that. And it says cheating exposed.
Person brags about me.
All right?
Cheating exposed.
You both are healing together, which is good. Their life is breaking down.
That was the plan.
That's why they mad. Somebody can't sleep at night. I'm afraid of you leaving me, so I ran first. And somebody could be a rape victim. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, somebody has a money hungry. So please like this video. If
Oh.
thank y'all so much. I love y'all.
Oh, grapefruit, dear grapefruit, your mother.
You left a mark in my mind that I never could erase. Took a piece from my heart that nobody could replace. Nobody could replace you. You are the eye in the storm. You're the peace I try to find when I'm out in the cold. You're the one that's on my mind. We'll search until I find you. I lost my love to you. I lost my love to you. I lost my love to you. Na 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 na. Was hoping that you knew. Na 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 na. Don't know what else to do. Na 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 na. I lost my love to you. Na 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 na. I lost my love to you. I've been alone in my dreams, but I've always searched for you. Needed love in this place. You're the only one I knew, the only one to fix me.